We got chef by Sheffield, but not in Sheffield. I was so hurt when I saw Oliver Burke connect that ball when I go net nestled. Why we didn't clear that ball to the surf, I'll be chanting stand, man, I'm so baffled. Anthony Martial, that shit, another game in the league where man did F-all. Man, I'm rattled. We got chef by Sheffield, but not in Sheffield. I was so hurt when I saw Oliver Burke connect that ball when I go net nestled. Why we didn't clear that ball to the surf, I'll be chanting stand, man, I'm so baffled. Anthony Martial, that shit, another game in the league where man did F-all. Man, I'm rattled. And we're back again. This is the OT99 Banter room where opinions get shared and smoke gets served. Look, today is a sad day, man. I woke up this morning still feeling sad, man. Like, Manchester United lose against Sheffield United at home. What is going on? Look, I'm tired. I mean, maybe it's because I've been on a high, being on top of the league for like 2 weeks, and reality just slapped me in the face today, and I'm just disorientated. And the worst thing about it is that we didn't even deserve to win that match. United didn't deserve to win that game. And you know what hurts the most as well is that it's just like, you feel like a certain way. You can call it like a blip, or you can call it something like, we'll get over this, we got our next game, we'll bounce back. But when you see a loss like that against Sheffield United, bottom of the league, where we didn't put in the effort, you start to think like it hurts even more. It's just like, it's not like we're rattling their goal posts, the frame of the goal. It's not like we were testing the keeper. It's not like we were creating so many chances. We were flat. This is the old United. This is a team that wasn't creating, wasn't putting they couldn't string two passes together. We was that flat. I think we came into that Sheffield United game thinking, this is going to be a walk in the park. Do you know what I mean? If you look at the lineup we played, at the centre, we made a couple of changes, but that changes was, with that team, you expect them to beat Sheffield United. But if you look at it, you look at Alex Telles. Alex Telles, it's not like he had the worst game, like in his career or anything like that, but you can tell the ring rust in guys like Tuanzebe, in guys who had it was just, oh man, I don't even know what's going on with him. But you can see it. Telles, Tuanzebe, Matic, guys that's not getting consistent enough game time. They're looking rusty. They're not going to be contribute. They're not going to be like, look, you can see worlds apart between Shaw and Telles. There's worlds apart right now between someone like Fred and Matic. You know what I mean? In terms of level of performance, in terms of like match fitness, you can see the big difference. It is a lot. I'm just sitting there like, I know we need to rotate, but we're suffering the same thing. That's what I said about Liverpool. With their guys that they're bringing on, Origi and Shaqiri and these guys, I'm not expecting them to have a major impact because they're not even playing any games. And you see it like Telles and Matic and guys like that we're bringing on. It's a lot to expect, outputs from them, to Anzabe and all of these guys, when they're just playing like one in every like 5, 6 games, 7 games. It's not conducive. And Sheffield United as well, it's another thing where they went with 5 at the back. And United, when it comes with 5 at the back, United struggle. We really do struggle. Where you've got that extra odd chance that's created with a team that's playing maybe 4 at the back, is restricted when we're playing teams with 5 at the back. You saw it against Fulham, how tight that game was, and it took a worldie, from Pogba to get us the win. And these were always signs that Man United was showing, but they were being masked by the heroics that was being displayed by your Brunos, your Pogbas and your Cavani's at times. And worldies and world-class goals and scoring from 30 yards, 20 yards and curlers and all of these things are not sustainable. It is not sustainable. What is sustainable is having a system of play, playing good football and creating those chances, because you're always going to get chances in games, creating those chances, and when you do get those chances in your games, you put them away. But what we're seeing consistently is we're getting chances, but we're not putting enough of them away. We're not blowing teams away like we were previously, where we will be scoring like 3, like last season we'll be scoring like 3 a game. That was our average. This season it's just, we've gone right downhill again. Now it's just we're winning it by that odd goal, you know, like 2-1 or something like that, or 3-2, or I mean, yeah, we do get where we do score 3 goals. If we do, it's just like that 1 goal difference is what I mean. We don't have that cushion, and you see it the other day with Man City, how they're blowing teams away 3-0, 5-0, keeping clean sheets and killing teams off and getting all of those goals, increasing their goal difference. You're seeing Man U just scraping past these teams by heroics, by worldies, and that is not sustainable. It is not sustainable football. So we do need to find a way of how we can break these teams down, because you can't be talking about a title challenge or potentially winning the league when you can't beat teams like Sheffield, regardless if they play 5 at the back. We have got to find a way. You know, C can find a way. We need to also be finding a way. And you know, a part of it yesterday, I'll get onto players in a second, but if we look at the whole collective, the team, it's one of the worst performances, if not the worst performance that we've had all season. And why I say that is because everyone was off the ball. Like, everyone was off the ball. This took me back to when we were playing that Turkish team in Champions League, or where we were playing, you know, RB Leipzig in the second leg, or where we were playing, not even that, actually it's even worse, because at least there we were turning up. We had some grit, like against RB Leipzig and Leipzig in the second leg, or PSG. But with the game against Sheffield United, there was nothing there. We couldn't put 2 passes together. I mean, Matic, I can't tell you how many times he was giving a ball away. The balls are just not precise. It wasn't accurate. Bruno Fernandes does what he does and give the ball away. But he's been off a few games. And when you have Bruno off a few games, it exposes the whole team, because he's the reason why. He's been behind a lot of our victories. He's been behind a lot of our good play. He's been behind a lot. He's been the reason why United has been picking up good form, in my opinion. So when he's not on the ball, that's like 50%, if not more, gone in terms of our creativity, in terms of the way we play. And we need guys like Pogba and all of these guys to step up, but they didn't step up. But yeah, I just feel like too many players were off. You know, we had Luke Shaw, who was rested, rightfully so, because you would against a team like this. But his attacking prowess, he's like bombing forward, his defensive, you know, abilities, he's tracking back. You know, would he have prevented some of these goals? You know, we look at guys like Eric Bailly, if he was fit, you know, if he was there in the starting lineup. You know, would we have been wasting time playing tiki-taka ping pong in our box, which allowed, you know, that second goal to go in, or would we would have just cleared it to the Sir Bobby Charlton stand? Would he have done that? I reckon he probably would have, you know. You look at like Mason Greenwood, you look at, again, like, he's been in and out, mostly out in terms of form. He's getting chances, but it's just not going in the net. And usually, like with Greenwood, he's to be fair, with Greenwood, you don't need too many chances before it goes in the net. But he didn't create enough chances for Greenwood to put the ball in the net. He doesn't need as many chances, in my opinion, as someone like Rashford would or Martial would. His finishing is up there. I mean, him and Cavani, if you present a couple of chances for them, maybe 2 or 3, one's gonna end up going in the net. But today everyone was off. Martial hasn't turned up all season. And in a league like this, especially if you're challenging or talking about winning a trophy, you don't have any passengers. Especially in defense, up top, you don't have any passengers. You need guys that are pulling their weight. You know, when you lose the ball, Martial, you should be running, like sprinting. You know, look at Rooney days when he lost that ball. He was so angry, he was fuming. He would track back, he would race back. More times he'll give a foul away. But he was fuming that he lost that ball. We got guys losing the ball and they're strolling. You know, like, you can't do that. If you're not scoring goals, you need to be putting in the effort. You need to be putting in the work rate. If you're not doing both, you're non-existent. You know what I mean? You're non-existent. Martial, you need to be working harder than ever. Because when there's guys that's not scoring, especially strikers, the only way you could justify them still being in the team is their work rate. What are they doing off the ball? How are they contributing to the team? Look, I see the only person running down, chasing down the ball, Bruno Fernandes, the only guy that's doing it. I'm like, why? And Cavani. I'm like, why is it that nobody else is tracking this ball down? Like, it should be infectious. You should see Bruno and want to help your person. He's the only guy that's chasing guys down from the first minute to the 90th minute. Everyone else is strolling. You can't have just two-man tracking. You see when City's, like, I'm mentioning City because I see how they play. When you're closing teams down, they're closing down in a unit. You're seeing like 2-3 men surrounded you at a time. That's when the defending from the front, that's when the pressing and closing down will be most effective. Not having one guy running around like a headless chicken while everyone waits and sees what happens. You know, when we've got guys on the ball that's like pressing and attacking or surrounded by, we had our guys, like, I think it was at times, was it Martial, surrounded by 2 or 3 Sheffield United players. There was no one there to provide that outlet for him. There was no one there. This is old school United. You need to be having that person always available so you can like ping the ball off when the pressure's tight. Look, United is reverting back into old United. We need to be a team that is on the front foot, a team that is like, has a mentality like, look, we need to win this game in the first half. Let's stop worrying about, you know, how many points we've accumulated from losing positions, or how many points we've accumulated in the, you know, scored in you know, how many goals we scored in the latter stages of a game. No, we need to be winning. We need to be thinking that the 90th minutes is in the first 45 minutes and playing like that. We're not doing that enough. We're too lazy. We're too slack. You know, Martial, it's about time that he gets benched. I mean, he needs to get benched. You know, you've got guys like probably Mata that would have done a better job. You've got guys like Dan James that even runs. Martial's not doing enough. You know what I mean? You've got Amad Diallo now that's in. Look, I see him coming in more sooner than later, especially after those performances. We're like the only team that, how do we still play guys that are not performing week in, week out? Do you know what I mean? It just shows, one, Ollie's distrust in a bench is so high that you can keep playing these guys consistently when they're not performing. Do you know what I mean? Martial should really have been benched a very long time ago. Even Rashford at times should have been benched. But at least Rashford like has a good performance. Then maybe he doesn't have a good performance in a couple of games, and he's showing us at least something. Martial, man, it's hard. I feel Cavani needs to be starting every game. I really do. I think it needs to be Martial that's on the bench, and you need to have Cavani in the middle, you need to have Rashford on the left, and you need to have Mason Greenwood or Diallo if you want to bring them on consistently. You need to be playing them consistently, because when Rashford plays on the left for me, he does well when he plays on the left. The minute you put him on the right, his performances is already slashed, it's already halved. He played one of his best games against Liverpool, you know, in the FA Cup. He played one of his best games, and that was on the left. Let's just leave Rashford on the left. We're putting him out of position, Rashford, and he's not performing. You got Martial, you're putting him for a guy that's like Martial, who's not performing anyway.
It's time for you to think about this.
So, you're losing, you're on a lose-lose, because you got Rashford that's not performing on the right, and you got Martial who hasn't been performing. I can understand if you're putting in a guy that's performing on the left, and you know, at least you know Rashford's the only one that can do a decent job on the right. But he's not doing anything, so why are you reducing Rashford's output for a guy that's not doing anything on the left anyway? Put Rashford there, let him do his thing, let him perform at the highest of his level on the left, put Cavani in the middle, and then put Mason Greenwood on. Martial, to me, has to be rested. He has to be benched. He needs competition. Right now, you can't keep rewarding him and giving him game time when he's not doing enough. Do you know what I mean? Tuanzebe again, like for me, Matic, Tuanzebe, and Martial was the guys for me that was just like, it was a bit too much, man. It was a bit too much. And, you know, we should be able to rest guys like McTominay and Fred because we're thinking about Arsenal. But it was just like, we needed to be bringing on these guys because there was no energy. The passes couldn't be strung together. I mean, I've always said it, like, in that midfield, we need another midfield, man. We need someone that's commanding, someone that can control the game, someone that has got a good balance between defending, but also being able to pass a ball, creativity. I see that in guys like Thomas Partey. You know, he's a guy that can defend and also can hit a 30-yard pass. Do you know what I mean? We need guys like that in our midfield, because right now we've got Matic who's getting on, Yeah, he can pass, but he don't have the legs at times. You know, you've got Pogba. He's been performing well. Don't get me wrong. I give him a lot of credit over the last 3-4 weeks. He's been performing well, but he's not a natural ball winner. But he has got that creativity. So we just need that perfect balance, I think, and we're struggling with that right now. We really are struggling in midfield with that. And we really, up top as well, like, we do need a consistent, reliable goal scorer. We can't have guys that are like, you know, one game they turn up and then in 2 games they don't, you know. We need someone that's reliable, because before in our previous games when we was getting these victories, we had Rashford that was out of it, but then Cavani will step up. Or, you know, sometimes that Greenwood randomly, rarely will step in. But you need people where you can guarantee like 1 in 2 they're gonna at least get a goal, at least 1 in 2. Right now I feel like it's like 1 in 3 at times, or the ratio's edging to 1 in 3 in terms of one striker that's getting goals consistently for us. Like maybe 1 in 2.5 games, or 1 in 3, it feels like to me. I don't know the actual stats, but that's what it feels like. I just want someone reliable up top that, you know, is gonna be putting in the, when they get a chance, you know, if they miss one, the second one's going in. And right now, we don't have that. Our front 3 is very iffy, it's very unreliable, and you can't have an unreliable strike force talking about competing for the league or winning the league. It never happens. When you look at the history, you know, of titles being won, you know what I mean? You've got consistency up the top. You have got consistency, especially in defense as well. And our consistency as well in defense, even though it's been vastly improved, needs a lot of work. And where you have Eric Bailly that's needed to be cautiously managed throughout the season, or getting injuries and stuff like that, our guy that's one of our best defenders, if not the best, you know, it's unsustainable. And that's why you need to dip into the market in the summer. Or we would have loved one in January, but that's why you need to dip into the market. It's not like we haven't got talent. It's just where your best defender is unreliable in terms of injuries, you need someone that's reliable. You need that partnership to be solid. You saw it last season. You had Maguire and Lindelof. They partnered up together and they went virtually the whole season. You need that, but you need that with a better partnership. And we can't have that. It's just unsustainable with Eric Bailly. And to Enderby, you know, I may be talking too soon, but he does need a run of games before you're gonna get the best out of him. I'm not gonna judge him too harshly, even though yesterday's performance was terrible. I do feel like you need to be having a run of games. You know, Fred, he needed his run of games before. Now everyone's calling him, you know, the best, or one of the best midfielders in our team. You know, Luke Shaw. Look how long we had to stick by him. He was almost sold by Mourinho. You know, you have to give these guys a run of games where they can, you know, like get up to scratch. And it's difficult because when you trust the team, and when a team's been going unbeaten and, you know, they're winning games, or, you know what I mean, like it's hard to be taking certain players out, and I can see that. But everyone does need to get the games. If you want to be competing on all fronts, you need to find a way. And I know Oli has been trying to rotate the squad, but we do need to find a way where these guys are getting enough games, where they're match fit, where they're not rusty, where when they're called upon, they can contribute in an effective way. You know, not just calling them against teams like Sheffield United, but even in the bigger games. And even you can see, even in Sheffield United, those guys that are rusty, they're the ones that are, you know, you can see it. It's being exposed, even with your Sheffield Uniteds. You know, so look, we've got Arsenal next in the league. You know, we're playing them at the Emirates, and you know what? Some would say, "Oh, this is tough." You know, we've come, you know, off the back of a loss. But to me, I feel like we need this game. I'm not saying that we're gonna win this game. You know, we could equally drop more points, but we need to be woken up, and we need to be woken up fast. And I don't want us playing another bottom of the league team where they're going to be defending with 10 men at the back and causing another issue like we experienced yesterday. I feel like we need a team like Arsenal that's going to attack us, and where we can attack them and get our mojo back, try and put some goals in the net, get our mentality right, and you know, we need to be brought out of our shell and given a tough challenge again. We need it, and Arsenal's the right team to do it, because, you know, in the last 5-6 games, they haven't lost a game. They're on the up, you know. They're climbing up the table. They're top half. They're 8th or something right now. And they, you know, they got a good win against Southampton. So we need a battle like that. So I welcome that match. And we need to bounce back. We need to bounce back quickly. And Arsenal could be the game for that, you know. But yeah, I mean, bring on Arsenal, man. I feel like we need it ASAP, you know, and we need those points. We can't afford, like, what we done against Liverpool now seems irrelevant because we dropped points against Sheffield United. And we're in the league right now, and the points is very close right now. That, you know, United's next games are what? We've got Everton, we've got Arsenal. We've got pretty tough games. I think we've got another tricky game in between that as well, our next 3 games. And those are all games that we could actually lose, you know, drop a lot of points. And, you know, if we'd done that, say we lost our next 3 games, or even lost 2 and drew 1, for example, we could be in a position where we're not even talking about challenging for the league or even finishing in top 4, because we could easily find ourselves outside of Champions League football position. We could be in European football position, or even outside of that, depending on how the other teams perform. If we don't win our next set of games, we need to bounce back quick. You saw how quickly Liverpool, you know, fell down to 4th place, and that can easily be anyone in that top 3 spot, top 4 spot. It could be anyone, you know, because that's how thick and fast the games are coming. And if you don't get your mojo right, your mentality right, you can easily slip. And that's what brings me back to that point about we deserve to lose that game against Sheffield United. If we performed well, I wouldn't feel so bad. You know, I'll go into the next game feeling confident. Because we didn't perform well, and so many guys didn't perform, it's confused me and it's rattled me a little bit, because we can either bounce back and go on another decent little run, or we can hit that rut again that Liverpool did. And if you hit that rut that Liverpool did with the mentality thing where everyone's shaking, that can have a massive impact. You know. And Liverpool look like they're getting their mojo back a bit again. I feel like they could get the points against Tottenham. But we don't want to enter into that mentality, that mojo, because it will be terrible. It will be so terrible. So that's the scary part. So Arsenal will be interesting to see if we can break out of that mentality if we are in it. And we need a game like Arsenal in order to do that ASAP, than having another team which is not going to bring the best out of us potentially. So yeah, let's see. But you know, that's me anyway. Like, comment and subscribe. Support the thing. Follow me on Insta. Follow me on Twitter. Support the thing. OT99 Banter Room. We're out.